Welcome everyone to Faces and Heels, the podcast for professional wrestling here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the recap and reaction to WWE's latest premium live event, Elimination Chamber Toronto, and we are officially on the road to WrestleMania. This premium live event was how can I describe it? Very, very intriguing going into it. A lot of questions, a lot of nervous WWE fans in the WWE universe who felt that there was no direction going into WrestleMania. You really had no earthly idea what was going to take place at WrestleMania. And to be honest with you, there's still some question marks after this premium live event, but things are starting to come a little clearer. The only thing that we knew for certain was the World Heavyweight Championship match between Gunther and Jey Uso. That's it. That's the only thing that was really locked down. And the Women's Championship match between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. But aside from those two matches that has been officially set for WrestleMania, we knew nothing. We knew nothing of who Cody Rhodes' opponent will be for the WWE Championship. We knew nothing of these feuds or these storylines that looked like they were going all over the place. And The Rock coming in and really confusing everybody with with his promos and the hot and cold nature of his promos, where he's a face at the start, then a heel in the middle, and flip back to a face. It is like, what are we doing here? Are you committed to this final boss character, or what? What is this story that you're telling? And then for him to come up on SmackDown a couple of weeks ago from New Orleans and not only announced that WrestleMania will return to New Orleans next year, can't wait for that, but he calls out Cody Rhodes and wants Cody Rhodes' soul, but didn't demand an answer there. Decided just take some time. I'll meet you in Toronto at the Elimination Chamber, and you give me your answer then. All right, that's cool, but it was still kind of like, where are we going with all this? And so I was hoping that this premium live event would clear up some things. Other questions. Jade Cargill, she got attacked about a month or so ago. Nobody knows who the attacker is. Haven't seen Jade Cargill. Where are we going with this? Well, everybody knew who it was. It wasn't a shock when it was revealed, or was it revealed? Because we still don't really know, but it wasn't a shock when what took place tonight in this premium live event. That, okay, now that opens the door for that. All right. Bianca and her quest to be in WrestleMania and wrestle for the Women's World Championship. All of these things. I must say, when it comes to Elimination Chamber Toronto, this was probably the best Elimination Chamber premium live event I've seen since its inception. This is the 15th Elimination Chamber event, and I cannot think of one that was better than this. I mean, pay-per-view as a whole, premium live event as a whole, I enjoyed it from top to bottom. And I am excited for WrestleMania. WrestleMania is going to be WrestleMania. Of course, I was going to get hyped up as we drew closer to that premium live event, but I wasn't super hyped like I was in previous years, but I am now. I am officially hyped up for WrestleMania. This is going to be bananas going into this show of shows. But tonight at Elimination Chamber, Toronto, we had 4 matches. We only had 4 matches on this premium live event, and it felt like a WrestleMania type pay-per-view. It felt like the world was at stake in every match. Well, 3 out of the 4. I was just mouth open for for the majority of the night watching this program. We had the Elimination Chamber for a women's world championship match at WrestleMania. You had Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bailey, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Roxanne Perez participating in this match. We also had a tag team match with Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus taking on Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. We had an unsanctioned match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And then we had the Elimination Chamber match for the undisputed WWE Championship match at WrestleMania, where we saw CM Punk, Damian Priest, John Cena, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, and Seth freaking Rollins battling it out in the chamber. There's no point prolonging it. Let's get into these matches. Starting with match number 1, the match that started the night off, and this was the perfect start of the evening. The Elimination Chamber match for the Women's World Championship match at WrestleMania 41 between Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bailey, Liv Morgan, Naomi, and Roxanne Perez. We see the participants enter the ring. We know that the first 4 announced are locked in the pods. The last 2 announced start the match. Starting the match, you had Naomi and Liv Morgan to start the match off. I'm like, okay, this is a good little warm up for the rest of the match. It's about to be popping. All of a sudden, well, before I get into that, we have to go back to Monday night, to Raw, when Naomi and Bianca were taking on Liv Morgan and Raquel for the Women's Tag Team Championship. They put on one of the best women's tag team matches I have ever seen in WWE. It was that good. It was a banger of a match. And Liv Morgan and Raquel came out on top and won the Women's Tag Team Championship. Cool. I was expecting after that match that Jade Cargill would come out, but she didn't, because all of the speculation was surrounding Liv and Raquel. They were on the surveillance video or whatever, CCTV cam or whatever the case may be. And so all fingers pointing towards Liv and Raquel. Well, Liv and Raquel beat Bianca and Naomi for the titles. I thought that was the opportunity. I'm like, man, why that didn't happen? I had a feeling that Jade Cargill was going to come out tonight, but I thought it was going to be maybe later in the match, or she was going to affect the outcome, which she kind of did, but she was going to affect one of these participants' participation in the WrestleMania match, and they would end up fighting at WrestleMania or something like that. That was the setup. Well, we didn't have to wait long. As soon as I don't even think the bell rung. Did it? Maybe it did. I don't recall, but I do remember Jade Cargill's music hit. She didn't even have any graphics on the Tron. She came out in all black, looking like she was molded from clay. I mean, that is Black Wonder Woman, man. Jade Cargill is just the personification of beauty. I mean, that woman is built. She inspires me to get in the gym. I'm honest to God, I've never seen a woman, a human being, period. I ain't even going to relegate it to just a woman. A human being in that great of shape. My God, But anyway, she came up the aisle, and immediately you see the camera, the camera work here, the cinematography here is cinema. This was just perfect. You see Liv's reaction, like, oh my God, this woman is about to come kill me. But off to the side, you see Naomi kind of skittish. She was like, oh my God. But she was trying to hold it together. It was like, I can't let on that I'm nervous, because she know that I'm the one who beat her up. I'm the one who injured her and took her out. But Jade Cargill enters the chamber. She looks like she's about to take out Liv, and she just darts over at Naomi and just destroys Naomi. Beats her halfway to death. What makes this so beautiful, what turns this into cinema, was Bianca. Bianca is the one who sold this. Bianca is in her pod. She's locked in her pod. She's banging on the pod. She's crying. She's screaming, begging for Jade to stop. She just sold it. And Jade is like just zoned in, focused. She's seeing red. She wants to destroy Naomi, which she was. And up to the point where Naomi's trying to crawl out of the chamber, and Jade runs over, takes the chamber door, the sliding door, and just slams it into Naomi. Takes her completely out, to the point where Naomi could not participate in the match. They drag Jade Cargill out. They will they will Naomi out on the stretcher, and the match begins. And the next participant to enter the match is none other than Bianca Belair. So she's distraught over all that she saw. She's like she don't know what to do at this point. Should she even wrestle in this match, after what just took place? But nonetheless, she started off. Her and Liv went at it for a little while before the rest of the young ladies entered the match. This was a banger. This was the best women's chamber match by far I have ever seen. I'll give you a little spoiler here. This was better than the men's. This was by miles better than the men's, and I like the men's, but it's just something about this match. It brought everything. The men's was all right, but what made the men's chamber match good was the storytelling. It was some awesome storytelling. The match itself was kind of okay. It was fine, but the women's elimination chamber match, it had it all. It had the story, it had the wrestling, it had the spots, it had everything you could ask for. These women put on a show that I tip my hat to all of them, everyone involved, including Jade Cargill. Great job by them. As I said, Naomi and Liv started it off. Naomi was eliminated. She couldn't compete. Our next elimination was Bayley. She got eliminated by Liv Morgan. Roxanne Perez was eliminated by Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss was eliminated by Liv Morgan. And our final two was Liv and Bianca, where we saw Bianca Belair punch her ticket to WrestleMania to take on. And we won't know until Monday. It's still not concreted, but it's either going to be Rhea Ripley, which everybody wants to see, or Io Sky, which wouldn't be a bad match either. It's because Rhea Ripley and Io Sky will have a championship match at Raw this Monday coming. So I think this is a setup for a potential triple threat match at WrestleMania. Do I want to see a triple threat match? Not really, because for one reason, the match would get off. all three of them are amazing. All three of them are deserving of a WrestleMania moment. But selfishly, I want to see Bianca and Rhea lock horns. This is something that I think a majority of the WWE universe have been clamoring for years. To see these two women lock horns, the power, the skill between with these two, uh, it in their prime. You know what I'm saying? It's like Rock and Stone Cold back in the day during the Attitude Era. You know, I want to see this so bad. Adding EO Sky to the mix, yeah, it's I think it'll be cool, but I just want to see these two lock up. But nonetheless, either way it go, Bianca Belair is definitely in the match for the Women's World Championship. I cannot wait for that. Uh, Either way it goes, but Bianca Belair is your winner of the Elimination Chamber match. And I give this match an A. This was an A match. Almost a plus. There was a couple of botches there that just broke my nerve. The main one, the one that sticks in my head, is Bailey's rose plant to, I think it was Roxanne Perez on the outside on a little steel grating or whatever. It's not so much it was a botch. It didn't look good for one, but to be honest with you, the rose plant, I hate that finisher. It just looks bad. It takes forever to set up, and it doesn't look devastating. It don't look like a finisher. I just, and this is just a personal preference. I just don't like that finisher. And she did it, and it just took me out of the match for about 5 or 6 seconds. Oh man, but it didn't do anything because she didn't eliminate anybody with it. It was just, I don't know, whatever the case may be, but it still gets an A. Awesome match by those women. Good job. All of them deserve a WrestleMania moment. All of them. Roxanne Perez, I know she's up and coming. There are some big things for her. There's some big things for her moving forward. But the MVP of that match was Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, this was probably the best Liv Morgan I've seen. And I like Liv Morgan. I don't really see the big hoopla around Liv Morgan. You know, I think she's decent. I like her character work and whatnot. But I've never seen a banger match from Liv Morgan. I never seen Liv Morgan go out there and just wow me, you know? But she did an excellent job in this match. She lasted to the very end. She started off the match and she lasted to the very end. And had some moments where it looked like she was gonna win. But I got to tip my hat to her. We move on to the tag team match between Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus at home in Toronto. They're taking on Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. This match I didn't care for going into it. I had zero excitement for this match when they announced it. And I'm happy to announce that my expectations were met. This match did nothing for me. Nothing for me at all. I don't know, man. And I like all of the parties involved, but it's like I think a lot of it is the Tiffany Stratton aspect of it all. I'm a fan of Tiffany Stratton going back to NXT when she moved up to the main roster, when she was in the Elimination Chamber last year, with the push that she got, winning the Money in the Bank, awesome. The teases that she had with the Money in the Bank, that she was going to cash it in, and as soon as she cashed it in, it's like her stock just nosedived, man. I mean, it's been crickets. It's no excitement at all. I'm just not feeling this run. I thought that Tiffany Stratton would be more exciting as a champ, especially as a heel, but it's like they're changing her to face. she's doing this face turn now, I guess, because she's taking on uh uh Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania and whatnot. I don't know, but I have zero confidence that she'll retain the championship against Charlotte Flair. I'm just not excited at all about this run, and I'm disappointed with that because I'm a big fan of hers. I like her work in the ring. I like her promo skills. She is the future in the women's division, and it seemed like since she got that title, it just has not gotten there with me. But with all that aside, the match did nothing for me. This match was just bleh. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good either. It was just straight up even kill. Um, it was a filler match. Every other match on this card was about 30 minutes. I think the women's elimination chamber match was 29 minutes. The Kevin Owens Sami Zayn match was about 28 minutes, and the men's elimination chamber match was about 32 minutes. So that brings us to this match that was only 11 minutes. It was 11, it was 11 minutes long, and that was probably 7 minutes too long for this match. At the end, we saw Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus come out victorious by defeating Nia Jax and Candice LeRae in a match that served zero purpose. Every other match had a purpose. Every other match, uh, it felt like was leading to something. What didn't feel like, you know, the results to every other match leads you into WrestleMania in some shape, form, or fashion. This doesn't. This match did nothing. It's going nowhere. Trish Stratus, that's probably the last we're gonna see from her in a little while. You know, we know that Tiffany Stratton is going to face Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Nia Jax and Candice LeRae, what they gonna do? They're they have nothing else to do at this point. But yeah, that's it is what it is. I give this match a C minus. It was whatever. I have no, I'm not hot nor cold about that match. So we're going to move on to the unsanctioned match between Sami Zayn and Sammy Owens, Kevin Owens. This was brutal. This was everything they promised us it was going to be. This was everything that you was expecting from these two. This had it all. This had it all, and I wasn't mad at it. I loved this match. I love the brutality. I love the setup. I love the fact that this was unsanctioned. And they went as far as to take the WWE logos off of the turnbuckles, and the ref wasn't wearing a WWE shirt. It was the detail. It's the little things that that just moved me. It's the storytelling here. Ah, man, this match was brutal. I know Sammy and Kevin are best friends in real life, you know, but why would y'all do this to each other? And I know y'all good at it. They trust each other. They protect each other. That's why this comes off as authentic and real and heartfelt, I guess you could say, in a way. The way they give their all into it, bro. This was one of the most brutal matches I've seen that didn't have blood in it. And that was one of the big notes that I took away from this match. You didn't need blood. You didn't need, all that extra stuff. It just told a story. It it was brutal. You know that these dudes went through tables. You saw them go through chairs. You saw them getting hit with chairs and all this other. I didn't need blood to know that they were hurting each other. They were hurting each other. Getting power bombed on the edge of the chair. I mean, edge of the ring and stuff like. I mean, come on, man. That was it was brutal, and I only say that because AEW, and I don't normally talk about AEW on this show, but AEW feels that everything needed blood. Everything needs a gushing amount of blood pouring out of an individual to show the realness of it. I don't need all that. Just tell the story in the ring. And these two told a story to the point where, uh, man, at some points you were really concerned for Sami Zayn. At least I was. I was like, man, that looked real. Man, it looks like he's really hurt. Oh my God, man, how is he standing after that? It was brutal. But in the end, Kevin Owens comes out victorious by defeating Sami Zayn in this unsanctioned match. But that wasn't all, folks. That wasn't all. Sami Zayn, broken up, close to death almost, meant nothing because Kevin Owens continued even after the match was over to pummel on Sammy to the point where he was about to put, I guess, the killing blow. And all of a sudden, we heard voices in our head. It was the return of Randy Orton. And Randy Orton came back. If you don't know, if you don't remember, it was Kevin Owens that put Randy Orton out with the pile driver, almost breaking his neck. At least that was the story. And he's been on the shelf for a couple of months now, huh? And he's seeking retribution, and he's coming after Kevin Owens. And RKO'd him and was about to break out a throwback, punt him. He was about to punt his head out of Toronto, but he was stopped at the last minute, angering him. He RKO'd all of the security guards, and it was a beautiful thing to watch. And all this is it sets up a possible WrestleMania match between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, which I am here for. Take my money. This was a awesome match, awesome setup for us moving forward. I give the unsanctioned match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, where Kevin Owens comes out on top, an A-. Great match, and it was never in doubt, but it exceeded my expectations, and that's crazy to think about when it comes to those two. That leads us to the men's Elimination Chamber match, where we saw CM Punk, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Seth freaking Rollins, and John Cena fight for a chance to go to WrestleMania and challenge for the undisputed WWE Championship, currently held by Cody Rhodes, who is debating on his soul being sucked out. It's by The Rock. But as I said earlier, this was not as good as the women's match as far as ring work is concerned, even though this was still a banger of a match. It just wasn't as good as the women. Unfortunately, the women set the bar for you fellas. Uh, they stole the show, unfortunately. Any other night, this would have been the creme de la creme, but not tonight. Not tonight. The women outshined the men, but the men did do an excellent job. I enjoyed this as well. Storytelling. Storytelling across the board. Everybody had a story to tell in this match. I don't care if it was CM Punk. I don't care if it was Logan Paul, even Damian Priest. There were stories to be told here, and it just added to their story, added to the hype leading into WrestleMania, because all 6 men here have a reason to go to WrestleMania. All 6 men, and I'm not just talking about fighting Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. I mean to fight each other. And we're going to get into all of that. The first elimination which was kind of a shocker to me, but not really. Not really, but it was a shock when it happened. But when I thought about it after the fact, I was like, well, yeah, it makes sense story wise, storyline wise in this match. Drew McIntyre, he was the first elimination in this match, and he was eliminated by Damian Priest. What makes this intriguing, Damian Priest is the man who eliminated Drew McIntyre from the Royal Rumble last month. And so it's it's like, okay, eventually Drew McIntyre is going to have to address this Damian Priest problem that he has. While he's focusing so heavily on CM Punk, so heavily on Roman Reigns and whatnot, he needs to address this Damian Priest problem that he currently has. Damian Priest has stopped him from going to WrestleMania twice in 1 month. So I'm guessing that will be your WrestleMania match between these two gentlemen. So Damian Priest eliminates Drew McIntyre. Right after that, Damian Priest gets eliminated by Logan Paul. Now, how did Damian Priest get eliminated? Well, after he eliminated Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre is hot as fish grease, he turned around and Claymored Damian Priest, which led to Logan Paul climbing on top of the pod and frog splashing him for the 1-2-3. I thought that was cool. I'm like, that whole little sequence there was really cool. And like I said, it just fuels the fire for a WrestleMania showdown between Priest and McIntyre. And that's a match I would love to see. Let's not forget again, going back to last year's WrestleMania, Drew McIntyre defeated Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, had the belt for 5 minutes, and who cashed in on him after Drew McIntyre was beat up by CM Punk was none other than Damian Priest. And so this has come full circle back to WrestleMania this year between these two gentlemen. And so there is plenty of heat to warm you up on this road to WrestleMania. Our next elimination was Logan Paul, and boy, you want to talk about happy. After that, I didn't care. After that, after that, I was so happy. I was willing to accept any other 3 of the remaining 3, I would say, to win. I didn't care because as long as it wasn't Logan Paul, can't stand his guts. Anyway, Logan Paul gets eliminated. Our next elimination was Seth freaking Rollins. Both were eliminated by CM Punk. And so this had ramifications for CM Punk because at this moment, he's going toe-to-toe with John Cena. These are your final 2. They're going back and forth. They're kicking out of each other finishers. You could tell the weight. And this is why I say the storytelling here was phenomenal. The weight of, or the pressure of trying to get to the main event. CM Punk has been screaming this since he returned to WWE. He has never main evented a WrestleMania. That's his one dream. That's his one goal. He's willing to go through anything and everything to get there, to achieve that. And man, the fight he put up. John Cena looked good. John Cena, I would say, since he became a part-timer, his matches haven't been all that good. Now, you can make the argument when he was a full-timer, they weren't all that good. I mean, what they call it? The 5 moves of death or something? 5 moves of doom or whatever it's called. Yeah, he only has 5 moves in his arsenal. But you can tell that he's not there anymore. He's off. He's making movies and TV shows and stuff. God bless him. But this was the best I've seen John Cena in years. He looked good in this match. Now, he was protected a lot because this is a multi-man match, so he didn't have to do too much throughout this match. But it was the little he had to do was a phenomenal, and we're going to get into what he does even after the match was even more phenomenal. But CM Punk eliminated Seth freaking Rollins. Seth Rollins didn't leave the cage yet. CM Punk escapes a submission hold from John Cena. He crawling through the ropes, and all of a sudden he gets stomped by Seth freaking Rollins. He gets stomped, and John Cena drags him back in and taps him out. Well, actually, it was he passed out, and so John Cena is your winner and will go on to WrestleMania, to main event WrestleMania, his final WrestleMania of his career. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. My initial reaction, my immediate reaction was, oh, that's all that's all I can say. I was, oh, because I felt it was boring. I don't want to see John Cena in WrestleMania for the championship in the main event. We've been down that road. We've seen this, and I felt it was too early for John Cena to fight for the championship, and I, I just wasn't feeling it, you know. And then it started to dawn on me. It started to actually when Cody came out. You hear Cody Rhodes music play. Cody's coming out to the ring to confront, well, not so much confront, but to have a stare down of sorts and celebrate the fact that this is his WrestleMania opponent, Cena versus Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. All right, and then it started to come together. I was like, wait. Now The Rock is going to come out because The Rock wants Cody Rhodes' answer. Is Cena going to turn heel? And everything started to come together. And before I can calculate it all in my mind, it happened. But what was running through my mind, I was like, okay, Cena at the press conference at the Royal Rumble, the post press conference, and he mentioned that it's best for business that he main events WrestleMania. I never pulled a card. I never played politics, but I'm enforcing it right now. I'm declaring myself for the Elimination Chamber. That's something John Cena has never done. He's never done it. John Cena has fought for every little thing throughout his career. That's his character. That's who he is. Hustle, loyalty, respect. That's how he does it. And I thought it was kind of odd that he did it then, but I never put two and two together. Then I thought about, wait, wouldn't it be weird? Wouldn't it be so strange that The Rock convinces one of his most heated rivals back in the day, John Cena, who headlined two WrestleManias back to back, these two gentlemen, because it was legit hatred between these two. This wasn't any storylines. This was real life. They couldn't stand each other. Wouldn't it be just a euphoric moment that he turns heel? So when The Rock came out with Travis Scott, of all people, he came out and he was strictly business. This was the final boss Rock. This was the Rock that I was hoping we got at the Raw on Netflix premiere. This was the Rock that I was hoping we was going to get at the SmackDown in New Orleans a couple of weeks ago. I mean, you could see it. Like, okay, he's serious. He wants his soul. So he gets in the ring, and when he got in the ring, John Cena is still in the ring. And it clicked just like that. Boom. I'm like, oh my God, they're actually going to pull the trigger. And so at this point, I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. I'm on board with whatever happens after all of this. I'm on board. Cody Rhodes tells The Rock to go F himself, and it's not going to happen. The Rock didn't lift a finger. John Cena, he's hopping around the ring, like, yeah, that's right. Tell him, stick it to him. Yada, yada, yada. He hugs him. He hugs The Rock. The Rock does the throat slash. And Cena's facial expression shifted. And I'm getting teary-eyed right now just thinking about this is cinema, people. It shifts. And then he low blows Cody. And they proceed. Even Travis Scott joined in. They proceeded to beat the living piss out of Cody Rhodes. Rock did nothing. Rock just sat there. Oh, stood there, I should say. Took the weight belt that has Cody's soul written on it and starts whipping him with that belt. That what they call that? Muscle belt, workout belt, whatever it is. Starts whooping him. The Rolex that Cody Rhodes gave The Rock. John Cena puts it around his fist and starts punching Cody with the watch. Now Cody's busted open. He's bruised up. He's standing in the ring, and you got John Cena. After 20-something years in this company, his his retirement tour, for the first time ever, turns heel. This was cinema. I had goosebumps in places I didn't even know I had. And I'm sitting there like, my God, I want to watch this again. I can't wait to watch this again. I would be watching it right now if I hadn't carved out this time to record this show. This was amazing. Amazing. And for a match, before we got to all this, when you started hearing the reports, the little rumors that is going to be John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, I'm like, that is the most Vince McMahon booking that I've ever heard in my life. Who wants to see that match? That is boring. It went from that. I mean, boring to the point that I was like, I don't need to watch WrestleMania. It was that upsetting to me when I first heard that. It went from that to, my God, I can't wait for WrestleMania. I cannot wait for this match between John Cena and Cody Rhodes. This is amazing. Triple H, his creative team, these wrestlers, these superstars, phenomenal. All the question marks, all of the second guessing by the fans, like, oh, there's no direction. They don't know where they're going in WrestleMania. This is Bush League. I don't know. Triple H, he's proven that he doesn't know what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. Those people had a plan. Triple H had a plan. The Rock, all of them, everybody involved had a plan, and my God, it was executed perfectly. The men's Elimination Chamber match for the right to take on Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship at WrestleMania, it gets a letter grade of an A-. I loved it. The only thing missing was some great wrestling. That was the only thing. It didn't have any big spots. It didn't have any, just interesting wrestling. Nothing out of this entire match will kind of stick with you. But the end, the end, and I'm talking wrestling rise. So I that's the only knock I have on it. But other than that, man, this was phenomenal. I can't wait. I cannot wait to see what we have in store for the next 7 weeks leading up to WrestleMania. But those are my grades for these 4 matches on this card for the Elimination Chamber Toronto, our final premium live event before we get to WrestleMania. I am so excited. I am so excited. I feel like I got new lease on life as a wrestling fan. I am. Oh man, I'm looking forward to WrestleMania. I am so looking forward to it. But I still have some questions. I still have some questions on a couple of top name stars that looks like they got no direction going into WrestleMania. I failed to mention, I think that the Seth Rollins and the CM Punk, I think that's set up for WrestleMania. Uh, I don't think it. I know it. That's set up for WrestleMania, so that's good. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, that's good. Logan Paul is kind of floating out there in the ether, which is good. That's a good thing. We don't need to see Logan Paul and all that. Who cares? But the Intercontinental Championship with Braun Breaker, who is his opponent going into WrestleMania? The U.S. Championship with Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah, I know that LA Knight won the number one contender match on SmackDown the other night, so they have that match coming up. But what about WrestleMania and so on and so forth? We still have a lot. It's 2 nights. This is a 2-night event, so you got a lot of matches that you got to fill out. And so far, we only know of what 4 for certain. And so there's a lot of matches that yeah, they need to they need to start revealing where we going. Jade Cargill and Naomi, I'm assuming that's set up. Uh Even though it would have been interesting to see Jade and Bianca, because Bianca is still in that mix, but Bianca has to focus on Rhea Ripley. And so when are we going to address that? Are they going to go back and forth with that? Her addressing the Jade and Naomi factor, and then on SmackDown, and then on Raw addressing Rhea and all that. It's kind of confusing there. So it's a lot. There's a lot going on. There's still a lot of questions, but there is a light. We do see a light at the end of the tunnel. It was pitch black, before we got to this premium live event, but at least we do see some light at the end of the tunnel. I want to know, did you enjoy the Elimination Chamber Toronto premium live event as much as I did? I thought it was one of the better premium live events in a while. I mean, I enjoyed it from top to bottom. Even the one I didn't like, it didn't force me to change the channel or anything like that. I I have zero complaints about about this premium live event. I want to know your thoughts. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network channel. Don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to Faces and Heels here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this recap and reaction to WWE Elimination Chamber Toronto. Next go around is WrestleMania. And so that we got to wait 7 weeks. It is until the middle of April until we get that big 2-night event. Oh man, it's shaping up to be a biggie. I can't wait. Everybody enjoy yourselves. For all of my 504 folks, enjoy the Mardi Gras festivities for the next few days and the holidays, the days off, thank God. At least I have them. Sorry if you don't, but I need the break. But in any event, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the premium live event, and more importantly, I hope you enjoyed this reaction. Can't wait to speak to you for WrestleMania. I'll talk to you then. Peace.